Welcome to Humanity Unboxed with me, Michelle Cheen, and Michael McGroot. Michael, we're in a new space today. It feels a little bit different, but it feels a lot different actually in general. I think the world has shifted, in my opinion.
Yeah,
How are you doing on that side of the world?
I'm well, having chosen the same color as you without knowing. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, it's very cool.
and it's it's Thanksgiving,
Mm,
which doesn't really matter to me because I always thankful. I'm
yeah,
thankful for being alive.
yeah,
So when people say, "How are you?" I said, "I'm alive,"
yeah,
and it's very thankful always. So I don't have to. I hate this name. Okay, on Valentine's Day, I'm gonna make you all the presents, but then the next day I beat you up. It's like I don't like to have one day of things, and
mm,
then we doing things
yeah,
versus we we uh, we are thankful all the time.
yeah. There is an element of celebration in there. It's actually interesting. I was thinking about it earlier. I meant to say, what's it, Happy Thanksgiving, but I forgot again. Um, but our theme next month in the Wisdom Seekers is celebration and gratitude.
Yeah,
And often we forget to celebrate. I mean, you can celebrate Thanksgiving or gratitude every day, but to make an maybe not, maybe a ritual, maybe something that, people eat turkey on Thanksgiving. I think that's pretty much,
acknowledging the awareness of what it is really. What you want to say
yeah,
is right. It's
exactly.
acknowledging the awareness that we all one with
Yeah.
nature. Nature feeds us.
Mm,
That's why you eat on Thanksgiving, and
yeah.
also the most archetypal place to share stories and life perspectives is, we talked about this, is the meal
Yeah.
with others and just sharing of food and
Mm,
stories.
yeah.
And that's an acknowledging, and they of course made it systemically. You should always do that, but because it's just not natural that you're
Mm,
constantly aware that you're one with nature, that
yeah.
you're constantly aware that everything is one, that you also have one with other humans, 8 billions,
Yeah.
and that is building. When you think about this and leaning in, if I lean in and just talk about it, I feel my heart just opening. I mean, wow, what a great, you 8 billion humans. Nobody's the same. Everybody has a life perspective different. Then you have all the animals. Then you have the planet and the fruits and also the aesthetics. I'm not
Mm,
even saying you need to eat the forest. You just, the aesthetics of nature, of humans, of an art teacher some one time told me, don't look at the beauty. Look find the beauty in the. If you want to find beauty, I don't see the beauty. I don't feel the aesthetics.
mm,
Find it in the discarded.
mm,
Find it in the dirty, in the thing. Find the aesthetics that you can, and it will open. It opened me so much. It
yeah.
opened me so much
Yeah.
because I see a horrible car wreck, and I said, "Where's the beauty?" I see a person that is handicapped or whatever. I said, "Where is the beauty in that handicap, in this destruction, in this
Mm,
destroy? And where is it?" And it then you cannot even not see the beauty because you condition yourself to see, to open yourself up to beauty,
mm.
and then you see beauties everywhere. And
Yeah.
obviously, in more or less value, but
Mm.
you see beauty in everything.
And it's in that contradiction, in that paradox of the two against each other. It's in symmetry or all of those
Yeah,
aspects, that we see the one more clearly because of the other,
yeah,
the light and the darkness, or the darkness and the
yeah,
light, all of those things.
yeah.
Um, yeah. So today we're still talking about freedom, and choice, and
Hmm.
how much choice do we actually have? Um, when choices aren't really what they seem. Choices are there. How do we navigate freedom within it? in a system where our choices are really limited. And I think we've covered a lot of it, but it's still there. I mean, we started talking earlier a little bit about guilt, for example, and
Yeah.
we changed our time on Monday because I just needed to get out a bit.
Mhm.
Um, and even in that, there's guilt. How do we fix it? How do we reschedule? How do we
What is Michael
go
saying?
backwards?
What is Michael thinking?
It's,
I cannot even be perfect. No, you're perfect as you are. I think that's, to access freedom, because we don't want to say the choices, do the right choices. We want to say to access freedom is the self acceptance, because nature made you one of one. And you say, hey, I'm not 6 foot 5. I don't look like the most beautiful person or whatever.
mm,
And and that is a generalization, because there is not, the most beautiful person. Not everybody is in love with the most beautiful systemic person.
mm,
There's always somebody for each. There's an abundance.
yeah,
So so it's the comprehension of that we are one of one, and that we are perfect as we are, because in we can only be who we are. We can't be somebody else. I cannot be Michelle, and you cannot be Michael. As
no,
much as we have so much in common, we cannot switch each other,
no,
because we are unique each.
mm,
And when and it's very tricky. What you say is very tricky, because so you can't make the appointment, which is systemic. Our meeting is systemic. Yeah,
mm,
on Monday, 8:30. That's our meeting, right? To consistently contribute, whatever or whatever. And then you can't.
mm,
Something comes in between, and it's perfect. It's still perfect. It is. You can't say, oh, the systemic, the generalization to be on time, which is fake anyway.
mm,
So the be on time is more important than whatever happens. If whatever happens happens. You have
yeah.
an accident. You have luck. You win the lottery. Whatever happens happens.
Or you just choose something different without, you know, like for me, nothing happened. I just had to get away from my computer. And it wasn't because I didn't want to speak to you or I didn't want to do, I just
Yeah.
needed to do something else. And then I think in that freedom, we need to let ourselves make choices that might not be right in
But the
no,
choices are right. Do you
yeah.
see? You question the choice.
Mm.
Yeah, the
But there
choice
was no
was right.
choice. It wasn't going to go any other way. It was
No,
this
no,
is
no.
what we
I'm saying, but
yeah,
it's still the right.
yeah,
This is what happens. Happens.
yeah.
I'm not in a position to have a talk.
Mm,
It's okay. Why is that not okay?
yeah,
I'm sorry. I thought, but I just feel I can't talk to you
mm,
right now. Not because I'm mad. Not I just can't talk to you.
yeah,
That happens.
yeah,
It's that what hurts is the going back with your mind, because past and future is mind, and
mm,
creating a guilt versus saying, if you communicate to me, if you'll be responsible, you know,
mm,
and say, hey, Michael, I can't. Everything is okay.
yeah,
And not telling, hey, I thought we could, and then no excuse, transparent and
mm,
100% honest. Nothing happens when people try it instead of being systemic and says, I got a call from Paris. They need to, well, and I can't talk. That,
yeah,
that is shaming you.
mm,
Why can you not say, I can't talk right now? Why is the human centric part not okay? I love that all comes in. I never thought about that. It,
and that's so true. We do it in. I mean, I don't know why do we do it. Is it the conditioning of you have to do
conditioning.
the right thing? You have to keep your word, and you have to do it this way. And in the process, you lose touch with yourself because
Yeah.
sometimes we just can't. Sometimes
No, we
that
can't.
choice
And we
isn't.
don't feel good. If
Mm,
I am totally full of a cold and I
mm,
can't speak or am hoarse, I say, yeah, I'm going to push through.
no.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And I can go inside and I can say, make the podcast anyway. So that happens too. So you can be hoarse and then speak anyway.
Yeah.
But it could be when I go inside and said, no, perhaps I shouldn't speak, or I should speak. It's always what your consciousness, not you know, not what you feel or logically think, what your brain thinks, what you consciously ask from you, and your awareness says, okay, Michelle, not today, not
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
And we postponed a couple of days.
Yeah.
And every time we say, hey, do it tomorrow. Have you had any pushback from me? No.
No, no.
Because I
Which
learned that
creates freedom, doesn't it? It creates space for
um,
people to be free because there isn't any bad intention. There is no, there's no dishonesty in it. It's just this is it, and let's try again. And I feel that's a thing that we've missed in our lives often. It's like today I can't.
yeah,
Maybe
but you have deadlines. Every system is all control because deadline is a control. There is no deadline. In nature, is no deadline. It just evolves. It just keeps, it doesn't work. Let's do this. And evolves. That's why it takes nature billions of years to become, that we become humans. So it evolves. And so there is no deadline. It's all artificial to control. System relevance is artificial, and it has such an enormous impact right now that it really disturbs everything. It disturbs and distracts from what's real. And from what's real is what are we called? Are we called human doings or human beings?
Yeah.
We are beings. And be is being. 8 billion beings can only be. They cannot do. They can try to deny themselves and do. But if 8 billion actually be 8 billion people and be honest and transparent to each other, see, the non-transparency is so damaging because it says, hey, I'm so busy. I mean, I was suffering so much when I was young about people say, I'm so busy, I don't have time. I said, because I feel there's something wrong. Something systemically is more important than the person.
Yeah.
Why can't you say, if I'm really that, if I'm really, that busy and whatever, because I can say, hey, I'm sorry, Michelle, I'm so dependent on this money coming in. I can't, let me do that. So otherwise I don't want to sit on the street. That
But
is a
that gives you
different.
a different perspective to busyness instead of now other
You are
things.
the secondary. You
Yeah.
in priority. You are secondary. You are not primary. You know.
Yeah. And we do that easily. I think as parents, you do that. It's like, oh, I can't do it. I'm too busy. Instead of saying, I just need to finish this email because I need to send it out before I can give you my full
Yeah.
attention. So it comes back to communication. I
I'm
suppose.
afraid. Also, you can say, I'm afraid if I don't send that email, honey. I understand you need me. Can it wait 5 minutes? I'm afraid. Just talk, dance with humans. But
Yeah.
see, today everything is text, digital world, which is anti-human. It makes us anti-human. That's the
Yeah.
most anti-human is the digital world because okay, I'm not, I'm this and this and this, and it's everything is prioritized by money flow, by fame, by and then you hear now in podcasts is so great. You hear these superstars. They had no money. They had forever no money, and we thought already at that time they were already rich and famous because everybody's lying. We need to become transparent. If we cannot be transparent, then what is the point of being human? What is the point if I cannot? If I can look, I'm me. It's not a generalization. That's why generalization is so dangerous. I'm not like all men. I'm me, and you are not like all women. You are 101. And so, if we're not being, we cannot exchange perspectives, and we cannot grow. We cut our growth and say, no, you have a deadline. You have to do this. You have to do this. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying deadline, but there's a way of deadline. And we talked about this about people that we know. They can't finish stuff. you know. And Rick Rubin says that's very good. She says you work on, and then you get a feeling, a sense in your six senses that now you have to do a deadline. You're not going to kill yourself if on March 1st you're not going to have that.
Mm.
But then you recommit. You recommit till you have it. But your intent is to finish 1st of March. But if it's 2nd of June, it's okay. But you recommit to that. And usually you can. When you get to the pivot point where the finishing is important,
Mm.
then you can actually commit and you actually get it done. If you start off and says, okay, we have 30 days to do this, that's hard. But if
Yeah.
you work on something and say, okay, I think we can, I think, yeah, and that drives you. So the
Mm.
becoming and then the pull. So you go becoming as something and then you go the pivot and now it's pulled. It's good enough
Mm.
where I can say now I can commit in a month's time. Versus we have only 5 days for this. What is that? What is that?
Yeah, there's not much freedom in that, is there? Because you then create a system or a structure, and
The
then you fall
stress.
into that and
That's
create.
almost saying, okay, Michelle, let's cut our hands and bleed out. And then, and now, before we got to solve this problem, before we all bled to death. This is total stress. It's
Yeah.
totally contrary to creativity because you and I know creativity, well, not a little bit at least.
Mm.
And we studying the creation of things, which is actually everything is a creation.
Yeah.
And so you can't put a time on what comes in or what is. You can say, hey, uh, it's Thanksgiving and it's we want it raining on Thanksgiving. You can't have it raining. It's sunny right now.
There's something around what you were just saying, kind of, within creativity, like you don't necessarily know what's going to be on the canvas or
Never.
what the end product is going to be. For it to unfold, you really need to move away from choices.
Yeah.
You need to let go of all the options so that you can just throw that color on that maybe doesn't make sense, and then it
Yeah.
shapes something else. And
Yeah.
that's
It
freedom.
reveals it. Life reveals itself. But if you're always in the past and the future,
Mm.
and say, oh, I have canceled Michael, so now I'm projecting. I'm already creating the guilt. Guilt is a future. By the way, guilt is a future uh, control of the future. It's
Yeah.
it's actually. I have a better thing. It's anger, suppressed anger, because you want to control the future. Yeah,
Mm.
because because you feel I can't see Michael uh, at that day, so now how can I make that better? It doesn't matter how that better because it is what it is. You
Mm.
didn't feel good. That's it.
Yeah.
So I do you think I would have enjoyed better that we make it and you would almost cry or have a headache or whatever? Would you
Yeah.
think that would be better? Why are we creating in
Mm.
a space where we are not able to create in our balanced space? We create the best when we both balance. Stress never increases uh, creativity; it increases survival, but never creativity, because we
Mm.
know. And you have to be conscious. It's the consciousness. You have to be conscious when you create, and not
Mm.
wait for an incentive or whatever. It will happen when it happens, and we say, hey, we want to do this, so it's 2 days later, but
Yeah.
it's deep. It's deep
Yeah.
and good, which we can dance.
And in that creation, in that process, there is no system. There's only the human centered side of it is
Yeah,
got all the options, but
yeah,
none of them are defined. So when we create, we don't know if the blue and the red or the
yeah,
pink and whatever is going to be the right color, but we're going to express it as we experience it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it comes through us. It's not like, oh, I created this painting. Now you better give me respect. It has nothing to do with anything. It just comes
no,
through me. It's like
yeah,
what we doing here. It just comes through us. It's not like we just open as much as we can and try to dance as much as we can. but there's no thought and saying, "Hey, I need to say that to Michelle," or this. It just comes in.
Yeah.
You know?
Because there's no outcome that we are trying to achieve. It's
Yeah,
only the process. It's only
yeah.
the process
This
of
the
how
journey,
well
the
we aware
journey,
the
the
journey. Yeah.
journey, and the outcome is the symptom. You know,
Mm.
it's like the outcome, the money, the fame, is just whatever, and that is a line too. That's not
Yeah.
our decision. Anybody that says I'm gonna be successful and I can predict it, they can't. It's manipulation.
Yeah.
It's playing, and everything copied is not creative. It's just it's beautiful. It can be, if you want to love Mona Lisa and you copy her, what
It's
is
not.
it?
Yeah.
It's not your Mona Lisa.
Mm.
It's just a copy of thing, and that's what systems think they're so great. But all they do is copying. Whatever worked, whatever works financially or anything, is repeated. What never doesn't repeat it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is useless.
Yet.
The value is the copy, and we of course need copy because in the copy we discover in the copy system relevant things because everybody has a computer, right? So
Mm.
if we can make them all very human centric and very intuitive, where we just read something uh, and we just follow steps. See this, I need to follow. That me, I need to follow steps, and yeah, actually, uh, somebody asked me at a big podcast platform asked me to give him, uh, and you can do this with me if you want, uh, to ask him what to do in this platform to make it good for ADHD and dyslexic people.
Okay. Yeah.
And I said, I will look at it. I will look at it and we'll tell him what. And we are more intuitive. We are more intuitive and not trusting. It's funny because we read both. Went to get on this platform right now. We read both things, and we hardly could make it work. We had to figure it out by doing. We
Yeah.
couldn't. We couldn't just read. When you push this button, you get that. And
Yeah.
but the whole digital world is supposed to work like that. But people
But it
don't.
doesn't. I mean, I have
Yeah,
that. If someone asks me to show them something on a phone, or because I love tech stuff and I can help you sort
me
anything
too.
out,
Yeah,
but don't ask me to explain it to you. I can do it, and
yeah,
I will have to try different things. But don't ask me to write you instructions about it because I don't know. I have to feel it, and that's it.
yeah,
Yeah, people. Not everyone understands that, and this is the gift of whatever we want to call it, being ourselves, is that we can see others through ourselves.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
And also, it doesn't make you wrong. See, when everybody just works alone on a computer, we all think we are weird.
mm,
I don't know anybody that say he's tech savvy unless you a technician that does it every day. That does it every day. So
mm,
everybody says, from young to old, I don't understand it. And what usually kids do, they try it. They try
yeah,
it till it falls. But that's not the purpose of technology. The technology is I take a knife and cut the sausage. I
yeah,
don't have to cut myself first and hurt and all the other stuff to cut the sausage. Or cut this with the scissors. I might not be good with scissors, in navigating, but I understand the function. I
yeah.
don't understand the function in technology because it's like figure it out and try it, and then you try 100 times, and then you have to hire somebody that teaches you. This
But there's also value in the trying it out, and I think that's a
it's
lot of our
very
freedom. Like if we don't try different things out, how do we experience different aspects of the things that light us up? If I didn't decide on Monday to just get in the car and see where the car
yeah
takes me, I wouldn't have seen some of the places that I
yeah
drove through on Monday, for example. But I think that's a thing in life. We're taught that there's a way to do it. There's one way, a
yeah,
right way and a
and
wrong
there
way.
is none.
there's a
and
truth.
there's none.
There's a,
But
yeah.
in digital, there should be one way, and there is none. See,
There also isn't. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean,
and
there should be because it's a system and therefore it
it's a
should
system.
work.
It's a total system. There is no humanity in the digital world. It's
Mm,
just system. This you do this, you get this. You
mm,
do this, you get this. So it's very linear because that's why it's a system. Otherwise, we couldn't even navigate it. You know.
yeah.
So it's very, so that's why we need the linear stuff. And it's not. It's just you are 100% right. You have to experience it. You have to
Yeah.
experience the world.
Mm,
But in the digital system, it has to be intuitive. It has to tell you step one, step two, step three. And if it
mm,
just gives you all the things to do whatever you want to do, you get lost. I get overwhelmed. I mean, you look at websites today, they're not, why can you not be with people like you and I and
yeah.
figure out, okay, first question when you go on this website, I want to buy groceries. Do I want to buy groceries? Yes. Click here, groceries here. Then
Yeah.
I see difference, fruit, whatever. Click that, whatever.
Yeah.
So what you want, you don't have to buy all chocolates or all fruits or all meats. You choose your stuff,
Mm,
and then you get in a linear way where you want to go.
yeah.
And that's freedom. And I think that's the digital freedom, not
Mm,
what we went through. You have to do this. And by the way, I found somebody that just opened a system and they bought software from the 90s and they sold it as all AI. So they put an AI header on it that
yeah.
talks to you. Say, hey, Michelle. You said, what's your name? Oh, Michelle, good to see you. Whatever. And then it gives up because that's the free AI. And then it
Yeah.
gives up. And then it puts you in a system that is from the 90s. It can't even handle anything. This is where you save money. It's told you.
Mm,
Always when you save money, it's either it's never enough no matter what, or you can save money costs. And when you save costs, humans suffer ultimately.
yeah. Yeah. Definitely. But also, if you, yeah, there's a lack. I mean, I'm struggling a little bit these days with social media algorithms and how they draw you in, and it's just like I've now even set a limit on my phone, but it's not working.
Yeah.
It keeps me, and I'm like, should I just delete it all? But I also need, I don't need it, but I don't
Yeah.
want to not have the choice.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's a little bit of a dilemma that I think a lot of people just give in, and then we in this whirl of other people's ideas and digital world and all whatever it is.
Yeah.
Um,
Then you're shamed because you couldn't do it,
mm,
and you're shamed, and then you become opaque. Then you pretend, you say, you tweak stuff because shame makes you pretend to be somebody else or you be shameless. So you can't figure out that damn iPhone. So now you pretend and say, hey, my internet company doesn't work or whatever, and really it's just the design of making it very complicated to figure out what to do.
and it doesn't always work, as you say. It's a
Yeah.
header on a 90s
And
software
glitches, so
program,
many. Yeah.
and
It's glitches.
glitches. There are all kinds of funny things going on. I mean, Mercury's in retrograde, so,
No, yeah, but that has
yeah,
only with us to do, not with the
yeah,
technology. Mercury retrograde doesn't affect the technology.
yeah.
Technology needs to work
But it
Mercury
doesn't.
straight or
Like,
Mercury
so we get
retrograde.
angry at the phone because the phone's not working and it's a new phone or a new computer, and
Yeah, it's
and then
us.
you blame
It's us.
yourself, and then it's yeah.
It's
Um,
us. It's our. Why do we get angry? Because we're out of control. It's always out of control. And when you think you don't trust the one or oneness, why you're in control? The control is not trusting the love, which is feeling that we are all interconnected and we can do it together. And that's what we propagate. We say it's when we all hold together, we hang out with the people we want to, and we work with the people we want to. Then we are most effective. When you get the synergistic right team, nobody can beat you.
yeah.
Nobody. Oh, actually, I was talking to a world class peddler. He was world champion and stuff.
Yeah.
And I met him and I asked him, and I said, "Tell me, what is today when you're an athlete? What is the thing? Uh, if an athlete, are you so much better in condition or whatever?" And I said, "No. There's people that might even be stronger than him, more condition. It's the awareness." And I was thinking about you. You were in my. It's just, it's the awareness when the young kids come, the young sports guys. He was like 30, but when the young kids come at 20 or so, and he said, "You see," he says the best thing is to tell them they're great, because then they're so, and they exhaust themselves. He says, "You see how they take waves. You see how they think. It's everything. It's the bullshit talk." And I say, "Hey, you don't look good. Are you think it's everything? The awareness and the dance in the game makes you a world champion." Because he was a world champion. So I said, "Hey, what is it? This is everything." He says, "There's stronger people. There's people that have a better technique. It's the whole thing together. It's the whole that nothing is not important."
Yeah. Yeah. And the connection to, this is my thing, and I love it.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really love that. Michael, we are at the end of our
Perfect.
Saturday.
We did it, and we did it.
We did it. And I'm very happy. And thank you very much. I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving every day.
Yeah, but our thing is timeless, so this has nothing to do with this. Is not a podcast.
No. That's what I'm saying. So every day is Thanksgiving, and I hope we can kind of celebrate that.
Being with so many people, and everybody is one-on-one.
Yeah,
it never gets bored. Never gets bored.
Brilliant. Thank you. We will